everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kathleen. In today's video, I wanted to go ahead and share with you guys my April TBR. So in the month of March, I actually had a great reading month. I read a total of 7 books and it was just amazing. I wanted to keep reading and reading and reading. I'm hoping that this streak kind of continues on into the month of April. However, April I do have my finals for my school, so I do have to kind of like put some study into all that reading, but I hope that it doesn't interfere with my reading too much. But I am excited for the month of April. I have picked out some great books and I hope I can get to them all. The month of March I did have a themed TBR, which I read some of your favorite books. I will talk about them during my March wrap up, which is coming up very soon, but I wasn't planning on doing a themed TBR for April. However, when I was picking out the books that I wanted to read this upcoming month, I realized they all have something in common, and I realized that they're all super hyped. These are books that everybody talks about. These are books that everybody seems to love. Even if you are new to the booktube world, you probably have heard of these books. You probably heard somebody talk about these books because they are very popular. So I decided for the theme for the month of April to be reading some very hyped books. Now I do have 3 books that I do have to read for the month of April. One is a book club book, one is my wrapped books, and the third one is a book that I started in March but I didn't quite finish it. So I do have 3 more books because I chose a 6 book TBR that are very hyped, and I'm so excited to share those with you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, and so the first book that I have to read during the month of April is a book club book, and it is Batman Nightwalker by Marie Lu. This is the Once Upon a Read Along book pick of the month for the month of April. This is a book club that I co-host with my good friend Chloe from the Brunette Bibliophile, and our live show for this book is actually going to be on Easter Sunday, which is April 21st. It's going to be at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on Chloe's channel. If you guys would like to check it out, I'll leave Chloe's channel links down below. But I'm actually very excited to read this book. I have not yet read a DC Icon book. In case you guys don't know, there's a bunch of different authors, YA authors that have written different stories regarding different DC characters. I have read Marie Lu's books before and I have loved it. I don't think I've ever read anything that is Batman related or a retelling of Batman, so I'm excited to dive into this book. And then the next book that I have to read during the month of April is my wrapped book. Now, in case you are new to my channel, you don't know what my wrapped books are, I got this idea from Sylvia from Wish Fulfillment, where she pretty much all of her books are wrapped. What I did is I basically took 12 of my most unread books. Basically, these are books that have been sitting on my shelves the longest, and I did not see myself picking them up anytime soon. So what I did is I wrapped them, and every month I read at least one of them. It's just a way to get those books that have been sitting on my TBR list the longest just out of that. I had my good friend Desiree from Libri Labra choose a book for me. I have numbers on the spines, and that's how I ask people to choose a book for me. I asked them to choose a number, and she chose number 9. So this is number 9, and we're gonna see which one this is. It is a hardcover. It looks like it's a little bit thicker, so it probably is a book over 400 pages. Oh, okay. Alright, so this is a book that I've had for a very long time. I think this is probably from my very first book haul on my channel, which means this book is like over 3 years old and I still haven't read it. So this is Proxy by Alex London. From what I remember, this is a dystopian world where people have proxies. So if you do something bad, your proxy will take your place. So I guess this kid, he gets in an accident and he kills somebody, and his punishment is death. He's sentenced to death. So because he has a proxy, his proxy will be the one taking the punishment, and I guess it goes on from there where the proxy has to figure out how not to get killed, basically. But this book has been sitting on my shelves for a very long time, so I'm excited that it's finally getting out of my TBR. Alright, and then the third book that I'm planning on reading during the month of April is a book that I started in March, but I didn't get quite finished with it, and it is Defy the Worlds by Claudia Gray. This is the sequel to Defy the Stars. And in case you guys haven't heard about Defy the Stars, I love that book, by the way. It is a sci-fi book set in outer space. It is about this android, this robot, or they call him mechs, but he's a special mech. He actually develops a human soul. He develops feelings, and he encounters this girl who is at war with his creator. Like, his creator's from Earth. Our other main character, she's from a planet called Genesis, and they're at war with each other. She's a soldier. In her entire life, all she's done is kill mechs. So she comes across this mech who has the soul and she doesn't know what to do. It's a a really, really good story. I really enjoyed Defy the Stars, so I have been meaning to pick up Defy the Worlds, which is the sequel, for a very, very, very long time. Now, the third and final book, which is Defy the Fates, is out now. It was actually released today, Tuesday, April 2nd, and I still haven't bought it yet, but I'm so excited to, because I cannot wait to finish this book and then read that book and find out how it all ends. Alright, so now let's go ahead and get started with the themed books. These are books, again, that are very popular on BookTube, very, very hyped. And the first one that I'm planning on reading during the month of April is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. Now, I have read a book by V.E. Schwab before. I read This Savage Song duology that she's written, and I loved that series. It was so good. Her characterization is just absolutely fantastic. It's one of the reasons why I love that duology so much, is because I really love the characters and I really connected with them. I have absolutely no idea what this book is about. I believe there's alternate realities or alternate worlds, and that's pretty much all I know. Despite the fact that this book is very hyped on BookTube, I pretty much have not been spoiled for a lot of the things that happen in this book. I'm actually quite surprised right now. It's been sitting on my shelves for the longest time, so I think it's about time that I read it and find out what the hype is all about. Alright, and then the second book that I'm planning on reading during the month of April that is extremely hyped is by one of my favorite authors, and it is Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. Jay Kristoff is one of the co-authors for the Illuminate Files, which is one of my favorite series of all time. It is the series that kind of like made me fall in love with sci-fi books set in outer space, and Nevernight has been very, very popular. I believe this is actually not a YA book. It is an adult novel or new adult. A lot of people love it, and I've heard nothing but great things about this book. However, I actually don't know too much about what it's in regards. I've been very lucky not to get spoiled. I do know that there's like a school of assassins and there's killers, and it sounds really amazing. So I have been meaning to read other books by Jay Kristoff. I have read Lifelike by him. However, that isn't a young adult. I haven't actually dived into his more mature work. The final book on this list, this is unbelievably hyped, unbelievably popular, and it's still sitting on my shelves. I have had this book for a very, very long time, and I have talked about so many times that I'm trying to read this book, that I need to pick up the series, and it is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. Now, Laini Taylor has written, again, one of my favorite series of all time, which is Strange the Dreamer. I have the entire trilogy. However, I just never picked it up. I don't know why. I have been saying that I need to pick up this book for like 3 years in a row now, and I'm finally picking it up. I will finally be reading this in the month of April. And there you are, guys. That is the books I'm planning on reading during the month of April. Let me know down in the comments below if you have read any of these books and what you thought about them, because I would really love to know. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you did, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. All of my social medias are linked down below, including Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads, if you'd like to follow me on those platforms. I hope to see you guys on my next video. Have a good day, guys, and keep reading. Bye!